Here's more wrestling news for July 4th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include: WWE wrestler lived in constant fear over her eventual WWE release. WWE wrestler vetoed planned table spot for Lana at Survivor Series. Major accusations by Lana about WWE. John Cena doesn't think Drew McIntyre should request a match against him. Next, Steve Austin Broken Skull Sessions guest revealed. Released WWE star plans for Diamond Mine prior to WWE NXT release. Multiple-time WWE champion went to bat for Bollywood Boyz with WWE management. WWE announces new segment for Great American Bash. Screenshot of The Rock in GTA game sparks huge fan reaction, and more. We're starting today with Lana, who was released from her $1 million contract last month, part of WWE's constant budget cuts. Now Lana is waiting out her non-compete clause, but during an appearance on Talk Is Jericho, revealed the exact moment she got the bad news. She said, "I was in the middle of texting Mandy Rose. We were texting about other random things and I'm just like, I just got released." She was like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they literally just released me." And I called Natty immediately. I couldn't even talk to Miro yet. Though it's never fun to lose your job, Lana said it was something of a relief to her and explained how she wants her next contract in wrestling to differ from her last. "At the same time, I felt really relieved in a sense that I've been waiting for this call. And that's the part I don't like about the environment. Whatever wrestling contract I have next, if I stay in wrestling, which I hope I do, I want a no-cut clause because that was the worst. And living in that state of fear, like you don't know when your future endeavors is gonna come. I'm such a planner and I had 3.5 years left, and I have all these plans. I invest my money, I'm a businesswoman. And it's just like, damn, why? It sucks." Lana worked hard in WWE to make a name for herself and earned the respect of many for her consistent attitude and willingness to do anything for the show. Releasing Lana from her $1 million contract freed up a lot of money in the company's bottom line, and though all releases have been explained as due to budget cuts, these cuts continue to come at a time when WWE is pulling in record profits. One way Lana earned the respect of countless fans was by going through tables for months in late 2020, but the Ravishing Russian was able to avoid one spot. On Talk Is Jericho, Lana explained that WWE had planned a table spot for Survivor Series where Nia Jax would have slammed her through it, but that spot was cut by an unlikely name. She explained, "Roman didn't want it because he had a table spot with Drew McIntyre, so there was some major pushback. The Samoans, Nia and Roman, that whole thing? Like, oh my god, I'm caught in the middle of this drama." Ultimately, Lana was the sole survivor for her team, which were all heels except for her, and though a table spot on the pay-per-view would have helped establish her as a babyface even more, it goes to show just how much influence SmackDown's Universal Champion wields. That wasn't all Lana had to say about WWE, as she also discussed her husband Miro's release, which was part of the infamous April 15th, 2020 cuts. Earlier this month, Lana said her husband did cartwheels in happiness when he learned he'd been released, which was a much different reaction to his wife. In the Jericho interview, Lana said her husband's release was far harder on her than him, and never in a million years thought he, the wrestler, would be fired before her, who spent years as his valet. She added, "That place makes you feel that way. That place makes you feel that men are more important than women. That place makes you feel, especially if you're a manager or a valet, that you're secondary. And yeah, maybe you're secondary, but I do feel like I was a big part of his success." Lana even went on to say that she feels like she's been part of his success behind closed doors at AEW, as she's worked with her husband to make his message clearer in the promotion, and that she was, quote, "devastated when he was cut from WWE." Now the Ravishing Russian is waiting out her 90-day non-compete clause, and we'll have to see whether she joins Miro's side on TV once more, this time in AEW. One person expected to return to WWE very soon is John Cena, as the 16-time WWE World Champion reportedly has a Universal title match against Roman Reigns planned for this year's SummerSlam. Being absent from WWE for the past year, 2020 saw Drew McIntyre take the reins as WWE's face of the company, and in an interview last month said he'd love to face Cena, possibly at WrestleMania 39. Now, Big Match John has responded, as while speaking to On Demand Entertainment, Cena said he appreciates that his name is being remembered when it comes to high-profile matches, but added, "Man, what a way to set yourself up for disappointment. In no way, shape, or form is Drew in a position to make matches or make things happen, and I'm not either. Neither of us have that power. Cena noted that he's approached WWE saying he'd like to work with someone in particular, and whilst neither he nor McIntyre have that power, WWE would be foolish not to book an encounter between the two former world champions when the time is right. From 2 world champions to 2 more, as Steve Austin's Broken Skull Sessions is one of WWE Network's most popular shows, and now we know who his next guest will be. According to WWE Network News, Kevin Nash will be in the hot seat when the next episode airs on July 11th, and though this hasn't been announced by WWE themselves yet, fans can expect things to be made official very soon. Last week, Arturo Ruas was cut from WWE due to budgetary reasons, despite the company having plans for him just days before his departure. It was previously reported that Ruas, as well as Marina Shafir, were meant to be in NXT's Diamond Mine, but were cut before they could join the new faction on TV. Speaking to Wrestling Inc., Ruas discussed those nixed plans and didn't appreciate WWE promising plans for him, only to release him. He said, "Just tell me, dude, it's over for you. I don't know what's next, but it's over for you. But don't tell me that you're going to put me back. But that's fine, maybe that person that called me never knew what was happening because it's crazy. Everything changes so fast." Ruas had a lot of potential in WWE as he joined the company with an exceptional background in amateur wrestling, but the former Raw Underground star will have to find work on his own when his 30-day non-compete clause expires later this month. With or without Ruas, NXT's road to the Great American Bash continues, which will feature a special segment this coming Tuesday. After winning the NXT North American Championship, Isaiah Swerve Scott and Hit Row will host a championship cipher on this week's show, a celebration that we imagine former champion Bronson Reed will be watching very closely. Last week, WWE released the Singh brothers from WWE, and since then, plenty of names, including Sean Waltman, Mick Foley, and Randy Orton, have praised the pair. After the release, Orton tweeted that the pair earned his respect in WWE, and while speaking to Sportskeeda, Sunil Singh, aka Gurv Shira, discussed how the Viper would go to management to bat for them. Sunil explained that during 2017's Punjabi prison match, the spot where Samir takes a fall off the structure was originally pitched by them, but it was Orton who made sure that the higher-ups agreed to the plan, adding that he's grateful that the Viper made sure they got to do the spot that fans still talk about. Orton wasn't able to save the two from being released last week, but he's confident they'll excel outside the company. And given that the brothers already have experience taking big bumps in a main event setting, odds are that fans will see them again as soon as their 90-day non-compete clauses end on September 23rd. In video game history, there's few franchises more popular than the Grand Theft Auto series, and 8 years on since the last installment, fans are eagerly awaiting Grand Theft Auto 6. It doesn't take much for a subject to go viral, and that happened this week when a Reddit thread shared a new screenshot from GTA 6, which featured Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The screenshot was from on GTA's trademark loading screens, and though it wasn't a shot of the gameplay, this image of The Rock in GTA was more than enough to get fans excited. The Rock's films have grossed over $10 billion globally, making him one of the most successful actors of all time. And after dominating the squared circle in Hollywood, this epic crossover would be an epic way for the near decade-long wait for GTA 6 to come to an end. And we're ending with AEW Road Rager, as this Wednesday's show will have a huge title match with an even bigger stipulation. It's already been confirmed that the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, will defend against Eddie Kingston and Penta El-Zero-M, and in a tweet, it was confirmed that Tony Khan has made this match a street fight. Road Rager will mark AEW's return to the road and will take place in Miami, Florida. And there's no doubt the show will be a success when it airs live next Wednesday. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.